of mind, how many babies were born last year on Christmas? Right? This is just to give you a feeling, nothing to do with technology, just a feeling. 350,000 babies born on Christmas Day, right? A lot of babies. So now you have a picture. So how many phones were activated that day? Not Nokia, not all of them, not iPhone 5s. I just looked at Droid phones. Now why did I look at Droid phones? Because it was the one which was the most. So I did take the bigger one. But I didn't add them all together. Just one brand of phones activated on Christmas Day, 1.35 million phones. So that means the day the baby was born, we activated the baby's phone. And we gave the parents each a new one. And then maybe we also covered some of the grandmas and grandpas as well. And remember, we've already activated 7.3 billion phones. So we've already covered mom and dad. And we are still at this point in time in the world activating somewhere between 1.5 to 2 million phones per day, every day. Common sense says that that chart has to stop at some time, right? Because we're reaching market saturation. How many phones do you want? Now just think about it. Do you go stand in a line at Clicks to go buy a toothbrush? Do you rush? Do you dream about having a toothbrush? No. Is there anything else that you're so worried about? But we actually stand in a line to try and go get a new phone. And when we buy a phone, aren't we proud of it? Don't we go and show it to everybody? I mean, you don't show me your toothbrush. But we do show the phone. And then as soon as I have my phone and he comes and he goes buys a new phone the next day, what am I? I'm jealous. I have an iPhone 5. What did you get? iPhone 6. I'm looking at your shiny toy, right? We've become addicted to having the latest technology. Look at the next. On Christmas Day, how many apps did we download? I thought you were having Christmas with your parents, right? No, liar. You were downloading apps. How many people were on Facebook that day? Take a guess. That day. Not account holders, that day. 900 million people were on Facebook on Christmas Day. And you want to tell me that you think that technology, mobile technology, the internet, social media, has not crept into our lives and taken over completely? I mean, it is just saturated us. It's that typical, that frog in the boiling water kind of concept, right? We know it's there, but I don't think we understand the size. I mean, look at the next number. Text sent on Christmas Day. I mean, do any of you know what that number even means? I mean, we get into numbers which is beyond the comprehension of the average person, including me. Look how many emails were sent that day. Look at that. We have become, as a society, so technology-driven. Now, those of you which say, oh, this is scary, right? And some of you are going to say, oh, this is so cool. I like this. You know what's the difference between scary and cool? About 30 years in age, right? So if you're scary, it's because you did not grow up with this stuff. And what are you saying in arguments? You're saying, oh, we don't really need that. Oh, I can live without my phone. Oh, I still like a personal letter. Oh, I still read my Sondag rapport courant. Gaan dit nie op die internet lees nie, né? We still say this thing. And are those comments valid? Sure, they're valid. Of course they are. But there are other generations. Remember, there's the GIs and the Ys and the Xs, which grew up with this stuff. In most cases, it is the following generation to the generation that created something that actually exploits it and grows it. If your great-grandfathers did not have a car but had an Osava, then your parents probably had one car. If your parents had one car, you probably have two cars. If your parents had one phone, you guys probably have 2 or 3 phones. If your parents had no phone, you probably have one phone. It's usually the following generation that saw a piece of technology or product, whether it's a car or a phone or a stereo or a TV, doesn't matter what it is. You grew up with it, you were comfortable with it. By the time you got to the position where you could buy it, you actually had it explode. Right? So the technology was created roughly when? Internet, if we look at consumer consumption, about 94, 95, 96, somewhere around that, depending where you're on the world. We are now roughly 20 years later. So we were fighting it for the last couple of years. The generation which is now coming into their 20s and 30s, when they were in middle school or in elementary school, Google was already there. For them, it's not new. It's every day. They can't even consider the world without it. And we now get to that stage where we have creation, slow growth because of market resistance, pricing, testing, rolling out, and then after a period of approximately 1 generation. If you remember that chart at the beginning, a generation is roughly how long? About 20 to 25 years. Because that's what it roughly takes to be born to get to a state where you can reproduce. So it takes roughly 20 to 25 years before you create the next generation. And it's that period of time when that breaking mark happens that you see everything explodes. And that's what's happening with technology now worldwide.